Audio Jungle.
For that kind of event.
At today's NEC meeting, an update on the establishment of state police was considered, and this was as a result of security challenges that we have across the nation: northeast, northwest, north central, southwest, southeast, south-south, so that we would have a robust security in our nation. And for that purpose, sometime in the past, NEC considered the establishment of state police and asked states to make submissions for consideration. Today, all the states were supposed to submit for consideration of the NEC. Incidentally, 4 states couldn't submit, and for that purpose, NEC decided that those states must make their submissions on or before Monday next week. Otherwise, whatever decision NEC takes on the establishment of state police will be binding on those states that refuse to submit, to make submissions. So that is the resolution as of today's NEC meeting.
A lot of issues were deliberated on, and the Accountant General of the Federation updated the Council on the following accounts. The foreign excess crude accounts is starting at 473,754.47 cents. Natural resources accounts, 3,551,078,534 naira 57 kobo. Stabilization accounts is standing at 33,874,398,389 naira 75 kobo.
As the governor of Bauchi has mentioned today at council, the issue of flood was intensively discussed, and in fact the flood committee had to be reconstituted, and currently now we have the new members of the council as follows: the governor of Kogi State as member, the governor of Oyo State as a member, the governor of Ebonyi State, Francis Ngufru, as a member, Senator Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, also as a member, Alhaji Umar Namadi, the governor of Jigawa State, as a member, Barrister Bello Colonio, the Minister of Water Resources, also as a member, Minister of State, Dr. Ishad Salako, the Minister of State for Environment, as a member, the DG of NIHSA as a member, DG NIMET member, the DG of NWRI member, the MD CEO of NIWA as a member, the MD of NNDC, MD of NEDC, and DG of NEMA also as members. These are the new members of the council. The council also has decided that by Monday, there is also going to be Monday will be the deadline for all the states of the Federation to submit detail of damages, including farms, schools, bridges that have been affected by the last flood. And Mr. Chairman mentioned that it will be taken into consideration for appropriate support to the various states. Also, the Bayelsa State Governor had been added as a member. So this is the new, very strong membership of the Flood Committee that will continue to address Council henceforth.
Following on the discussion reported on flooding food systems, there was a conversation around the state of nutrition in Nigeria, because nutrition is key to Nigeria's human capital development, and the need for federal government's effort to deliver relief will also to be complemented by the state governments. Key decisions were taken to include a food and nutrition security task force, which we have already established at the federal government level, but states will also mirror that, which is a multi-sectoral governance and coordination platform to ensure that we address the challenge of acute malnutrition, moderate malnutrition, and over time, even the stunting that we are faced with as a country, and to ensure that the resources begin to be put in place in 2025 budgets as we come towards that cycle, so that states also have line items for budget on nutrition, just as federal government itself will also do that, so that we plan to deliver the interventions in a multi-sectoral way that will ensure that our children grow to be healthy, have the cognitive capacity that will drive the prosperity that is in our future. Thirdly, that our development partners to cooperate at the federal level, but also at the state level, to coordinate and mobilize their resources to complement what the governments are placing on the table. Grant financing through the Children's Nutrition Fund, or either resources which could be complementary to the grant financing to help address the challenge that we see on nutrition. We are distributing multiple micronutrient supplements that have been mobilized free. 1.3 million doses have already been distributed, and each one of those 1.3 million packages will serve a pregnant woman 6 months. That will be for the mother, but also for her child, because the first 1,000 days, including the period of gestation, are important for the brain development of our children. So that distribution is being done in collaboration with the state governments as well. Programmatic elements on procurement of the commodities, states will complement, but federal government has mobilized resources through ANRIN and through other mechanisms to ensure that we deliver ready-to-use therapeutic foods and locally adapted foods that will build the strength of our children and strengthen our mothers so that we have a healthier population over time. Training that we have already conducted, I think those are all elements that reflect the kind of collaboration between the federal government and the states. In addition, as you all know, we received Mr. Bill Gates on a 2-day visit to Nigeria. I think Mr. Bill Gates' presentation to the council identified and commended the government of Nigeria and its effort to strengthen the economy, and also the work that is underway in health, maternal and child health in particular, immunization, and other areas, including agriculture. He commended the federal government as well as the state governments for their efforts in that direction. In fact, Mr. President was praised by Mr. Gates for the Renewed Hope agenda, which was an important element that despite the challenges Nigeria is facing, Nigeria can get through these challenges and have a brighter future ahead of it. So Mr. Gates pledged his foundation's continued partnership with Nigeria, federal government, but also states in the sector-wide approach that we have taken in health, and which Mr. President unveiled in December 2023, alongside the compact signing by all the state governments with the federal government and our development partners, so that Nigeria is pulling in the same direction, including now the local governments working hard to improve primary health care. The NEC passed a resolution in the issue of polio eradication, which Nigeria has succeeded. It has eliminated wild polio virus, but there are remnants in a few states. 5 affected states and others have circulating variant polio viruses, and a task force, a committee of the NEC was established by the NEC to be chaired by His Excellency the Governor of Gombe State, comprising Their Excellencies the Governors of Kano, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Katsina states, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, the DG of Primary Healthcare Agency, the NEC Secretariat, representative of UNICEF, WHO, the SA to the President on NEC, and the representative of the President of Aliko Dangote Foundation, the CEO of Aliko Dangote Foundation, and the Director General of the Governors Forum. The standing committee is to report on a monthly basis on polio eradication, but links to immunization and also effort to revive Nigeria's primary healthcare system. Those are the important decisions that were taken by members of the National Executive Council who are also here.
Council today discussed exhaustively on the issue of flood situation across the states, and the governors acknowledge the support from the federal government in terms of releasing 3 billion as a small measure to ensure that at least we provide palliation for the flood. The flood was more devastating along the northeast axis, where the major artery between Kano and Maiduguri has been cut off, with devastating effects on households, schools, bridges, and other means of livelihoods. Lives were lost, and a lot of properties were also destroyed. And of course, that has really provided a big challenge to our eyes as a government and as a people and as a state, because we need to provide more of food security. And some of the farmlands are already submerged, and there would therefore be a need for collaboration between all the tiers of government to ensure food security. The need for planning, collaboration, and interaction to do that during the harvest time, because the harvest may not be as we envisage in terms of the bumper harvest that we are expecting. So the Ministry of Agric and all our subnational ministries are supposed to collaborate and ensure that something comprehensive is done. And I will yield the floor to my colleague, the Governor of Nasarawa. I know that there has been a lot of devastation, and we are asked to bring an inventory of destruction before Monday, but some other measures in terms of governance structure have been established by Council, and my brother, the Governor of Nasarawa, will brief you on the structure that is established, so that what we are going to do is not going to be ad hoc, it will be sustainable, and something that is really going to help us as a nation.
Audio Jungle.